Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30. It is Friday, May 8th. And man, what a day. Market is definitely Nasdaq is on fire, that's for sure. ES is just meandering higher, but Nasdaq rocketed higher today. AMD even made huge gains during the day session. There's a couple of other stocks also popping pretty darn good. The employment situation came on kind of a good number. Um, my initial reaction was volatile, but not really directional, so a good number there. Consumer confidence was not that great, and the market took off after the open, and we've been actually on a steady grind to the upside. And the ES took out the highs, they extended, so they're still in stage one, extending to the upside. So as you can see on the ES, we are steadily extending, and so far we are staying in stage one. So it's stage one extending to the upside. Have not cut off the buying yet. It kind of looks like they're running into a little bit resistance at 7,400, but so far they're extending. We'll see what they end up closing, but I would just stay on the long side, look to buy weakness against these lower areas. Now, if they trade down below here, the 7,400, I would take off the long buyers and go back range bound, uh, at least for the overnight, and see if they can get something going here. I don't think market is too concerned about any shooting starting over the weekend, so haven't been any indications of that. So we will see what happens. Anything can happen over the weekend. So starting off, the bias to the upside, no trades on the ES for me. I took a couple of trades on the Nasdaq and early on here, and that was one of those things. It's the Nasdaq start taking out with a vengeance. You can see here Nasdaq absolutely blowing through resistance, making new highs with a vengeance, and it is nothing but spectacular. So Nasdaq, a big move to the upside. I had the trades I took was early on here that I kind of missed the beginning here. It's kind of watching that big move to the upside. I tried a long trade when it finally was breaking out, and I wasn't that aggressive on it. I was looking at this thing. They start taking out. Usually you get knocked down pretty good, but they were. It looked like they were going. So I tried a long trade. Had enough to go to break even, stop me out. Then I tried on the pullback another long trade, and this one just got me almost creamed. I mean, this move down here, I put in one here at the 140s, repaired it at the mode, had my stop outside of that rotation, and that was way too big of a trade, way too big. And it was borderline. It was so close to stopping me out, it wasn't even funny. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? These guys they were running that hard. So, I mean, it would have been a $200+ loser. But I got lucky on that one. So after I got into green territory, I just got out of it. I usually do that because you never know. After the fact, it looked like, yeah, you got out too early. Yeah, of course I did. But when I fade this much heat, I just flat out wrong on the entry. I can always re-engage it later. But if you look at this thing here and then you have an opportunity and you don't take it, and they run it lower, even lower, you'll be beating yourself pretty darn good for not taking that opportunity. But look at this thing. There was after that, they start taking this higher pretty good. Now, if I stayed in that trade and didn't take profit, that rotation down here would have taken me out at break even. So it wouldn't have been a big trade anyway. They just took it higher. It hasn't been a super nice trend to the upside, but then nonetheless to the upside. And right after this 1 o'clock hour, they kind of run out of gas and been going sideways. So, but it was being pretty extensive. So stay on the long side on this one. Look to buy weakness. You're gonna have to rethink this over the weekend to see what the level is going to be like. But you definitely have an edge down here at the 29,070 80s. And then the 29,000, they blew through that one. And then the next down here is at the 28,900s. So I got the lower edges fairly figured out, but I'm going to have to look at this going into the weekend. So yes, those two trades and up $23. Now, this is like not trying to be superstitious about it, but once you get into a spot like that, you just can barely get out of it without getting yourself totally run over. You kind of had to just take that as a sign that, yeah, I got lucky. I'm not going to push my luck any further today. So anyway, that's the kind of how I thought about it. So that's where we start on these two. No trades on the bond market today for me. They are pretty much sideways. They popped up here pretty good, and then they backed off. I was looking for short setups up here, but the fact that they blew through the 16, so that wasn't a trade, but they took a little bit too high, took out that resistance area, and then stalled at the 27. It wasn't a shot at getting short at 27. That's a little bit too aggressive. And since then, they was not really setting up for a good move. I mean, they stalled here pretty good at the 24s, so that was close to an edge. But then again, you're really looking for a retest at 27. So I did not engage that thing, and then it's been going sideways ever since. So no trades on the bonds for myself, and then no trades on the cryptos either. They have been pretty sloppy today, so a lot of back and forth. So I haven't really tried a lot on these guys. They has been, you can see on oil here, that's back and forth, violently swinging. So, but nothing directional going on that. So I haven't tried to trade any of these today. All right, so back to the ES and the Nasdaq. Right now, yes, we'll see if they're going to pop this going into the close. But the fact that they're closing at the highs is a good sign. The market is not worried about the weekend or anything crazy happening. So anyway, we'll leave it there for now, guys. You have a great weekend. I'll see you back on Monday, and then we'll go at all this again. All right, guys. Later.